Waffles. Warlocks and Waffles. Pact once broken, forged. A pact once broken, forged anew. Waffles. Warlocks and Waffles. Warlocks and Waffles. Warlocks and Waffles. A pact once broken, Warlocks and Waffles. A pact once broken, forged anew. Warlocks and Waffles.
Did you want waffles?
We're live. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pact. It is good to be back. It feels like it has been forever. Joining us, not just this morning, but hopefully indefinitely going forward, barring some sort of horrible encounter with a deck of many things or something of that nature. Junie, introduce yourself to the fine folk at home. Oh, wait.
Oh, I've already done it.
Wait.
What did who do?
Junie, there
What?
you go. You had no
What?
audio. Now you do.
No audio. Of course.
Junie was doing this really fun thing before I couldn't see him because I was working on watching the intro and making sure everything was going on. I based on sound alone, I assume Junie was just scraping at his mic with a pencil or something like that. So he was muted. Yeah, I forgot to unmute you before.
That's my. I should have warned you. I could have muted myself and I didn't. So that's rude on my part. Because I was unscrewing my microphone from one stand and screwing it into another, so you heard it you probably just heard the.
That is exactly what I heard.
Okay, so I apologize. But now.
Ooh. What is going on, Junie? What'd you do? Let me refresh your mic.
Okay.
Nope. Something Junie has done has broken everything. What did you do?
I don't.
Stop whatever you're doing. Off to a great start here. Oh my goodness. The screech of our waffle patrons heralding the new shows. What the fuck happened? Yeah, the moment you do anything, it breaks everything. So here, let's do. I'm going to disconnect you. And then rejoin the call with that link I sent you. Anyway, hi everybody. It's good to be back. This is Warlocks and Waffles. This is a TTRPG morning show, if you couldn't tell based on the shrieks of banshees that you've already heard this morning. But it's good to be back. I've missed you all. There is no part of me that thought, you know what I'll miss? Getting up early to just sit in a chair in front of a camera. And apparently, I do miss that. It's not Junie's hot mic. Junie is just too hot for the mic. That is very possible. Fingers crossed that he is able to rejoin the call quickly. And then nothing happens. I have no idea what caused that. We have been in this call for an hour. Nothing. It hasn't screeched once. The moment we go live, his mic goes,
I will free all of the souls from the damned.
Anyway. Thank you guys so much for being here. I know it is earlier than it normally is. We made the decision to move to an earlier time slot and just fully embrace the morning show element of the show. So hopefully it's off to a good start here. Ooh, I mean, it's got to be a good start, right? We've already got somebody trying to sell us bots and shit. Hey, no. Let's see here. Not a thing on this channel. Thank you. Goodbye. Well, hopefully Junie returns soon. Started by saying, unless his soul gets trapped by like a deck of many things or something, and then his mic blurted, and now he's gone forever. So who knows? Let's see here. I will message him. Man, I did not miss all of the technical difficulties of doing a stream. Okay. Well, I'm sorry that it's off to a rough start here this morning. Let's see here. For those of you who are already in the call, thank you so much for being here. We do really appreciate it. We will be releasing the content in sort of a staggered approach, so there will be a rerun of the show at the regular 10 o'clock time, assuming I can figure out how to do that. I have never done a rerun on Twitch. I assume it's fairly simple. We'll find out. But it'll rerun at the normal time. Junie and I will both try and be in the chat during that time to hang out with anybody who can't make it for the morning. We'll be there in the 10 o'clock Eastern time. And then we also plan on doing additional stuff. So do some additional streams and things like that. And hopefully we'll get up and running here quickly. Thank you all for hanging in there. Best syrup flavors, go. I appreciate you, Davy Jones. You are a boon to anyone who is trying to make content and is having technical difficulties. Junie, let's see here. Best syrup flavor. I mean, you can't go wrong with the basic like maple flavor, like a basic maple syrup, right? But like a good maple syrup. If you're gonna do like a flavored syrup, the one I get the most is probably like they have a buttered, like a butter flavored syrup, which sounds disgusting, but like it is good on like waffles and pancakes and French toast and all of that. I do like a boysenberry syrup or something like that. Also good. This is what we in the industry call vamping. Are fantasy syrups on the table? Absolutely. Are you kidding me? Let's see here. What do we think? What fantasy race is the one that likes syrup. I mean, it's clearly. Oh, there you are. Okay. You are here. Go ahead and talk.
I'm here. I mean, I hope you can.
I can hear you now.
Okay.
You were just not it.
I don't know what the hell happened.
Yeah, I don't know. Yes, Davy Jones, halflings is the correct answer. Like, there is no other. There is no other option. Let's see here.
Wait, what? Halflings? Like halflings on waffles? Like,
no.
in.
Which fantasy people are the people that are most into syrup?
Well, when you say it like that, it seems like there's more involved. Like, not just culinary into it, as in like they're eating it. Like when you say into,
who's into?
Yeah,
syrup?
When you say into, I'm like, I guess.
I mean, who's into syrup? It's clearly the dwarves. Like I can't justify that statement, but I feel it deep in my soul. Yeah. See, Davy Jones, we're on the same wavelength. Davy Jones said I was gonna say dwarves, but they like it differently. I was like, yeah. We are on the same page here.
Okay.
Oh man.
That is this is the way to start it off.
This is
sorry,
honestly, it's perfect. Okay. Let's see here.
Let's start from the damn top.
Let's start from the damn top.
We'll
trim this out in the podcast version of the show.
I recall my time. This is also going to be a podcast. So yeah, we'll magic this to make sense. But damn Flabbit, gosh damn, I'm basically making myself as uncool as fucking possible. I'm fucking Junie Ruiz, and I'm on Warlocks and Waffles. God damn it. I made it.
Oh man,
I made it, and this show is now fucking 50% more Puerto Rican, and we're in here. We did it. Para la isla, we did it. We're here.
Oh man, absolutely.
I can go out on top.
Let's see here.
I told myself I wasn't gonna do that, and then I got frustrated and did
I know
it anyway.
the joke is sitting on the sheet of like, what if I said this? And it's like, yeah, I mean,
oh no, I didn't even tell you about that. I told myself, I was like, say something Spanish in the first 30 seconds, and then I was like, no, don't do that. Why would you do that for the sake of doing it? And then I did it because my Latin fiery temper got the hold of me, and I just did it anyway.
I don't know if it's true for the people watching. Your audio is coming in a little low on my end. I'm hesitant to tell you to adjust your microphone in any way.
I have no. It's you know what it was. I think in that whole me trying to I was trying to do some shenanigans where I was like, oh, I'll record you through whatever, and I think I must have in some way, I don't know how, in the same way that you were like, your audio is coming from nowhere, I must have doubled my audio into it. It was feeding into itself.
Oh, somehow. Into its own loop.
Yeah. So I'm like, the one thing I like about this mic is, I mean, this interface, the mic, I have to fumble around for a mute button. I did have a foot pedal that I hot buttoned, but this thing has a really big, soft, capacitive. I could just graze it and it mutes. So I was able to mute it quickly. But yeah, this is how
we're off. We are off to a fantastic start. Arsmodius said, "You two kind of sus. Did you have funny syrup before the show?" Here's the thing, Arsmodius. And you've been around. You've seen the show before. You should know full well that I am not a morning person. And we moved the show earlier.
Yeah.
Which meant that I had to be up at 6 a.m. to start the de-zombification process. And that is not an okay thing.
I'll take some of this off of you. Part of what I'm here for, everybody, you know what? We have an outline. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that y'all don't know about. And one of them is, I don't know, and this is none of my business. You can tell me You don't have to talk about past relationships. You don't have to tell me if there ever was outlines and shit. But there's outlines here, and
yeah. I mean, it would be absolutely buck wild to assume that in past broadcasts of this show there has been any form of outline.
There is a typed doc.
There is a typed doc. One of many things that Junie is bringing to the table is an attempt to make us make sense.
I'm bringing lore drops. I'm freaking and part of all of it is because this is gonna get sappy right off the bat. I'm gonna do all the things I said I wasn't gonna do. Damn sappy. Yes. Damn it. I did another one. Check them off the list.
You made the pun.
So yeah, but you know what? Hunter,
goodness.
this dude right here has done so much for me. And I've done like half of a fraction for this man, right? So, and it's aggressive.
You can't start the show by being like, you are a good ass friend.
Yeah, no, this charming,
it is
photogenic son of a bitch, right?
It is too early for me to have to deal with sentimental.
Yeah, no, I wake up like this. Actually, I didn't wake up. I didn't sleep last night. My kid's sick, so I haven't slept in days. But yeah,
my goodness.
What can I do for Hunter? I can give him a really, really thorough Google Doc. There is links in this crap.
Extensive.
Also, eventually, I'll take some of this dumb broadcast crap out of your hands because I'm a nerd for that crap. I actually like that. And as frustrating as it is, there's a part of me that I'm like, that's a puzzle, and I solved it. I made this audio interface my bitch.
I appreciate
I like that.
My viewpoint on it is always like, there is part of me that's like, I solved the puzzle, but there's also a part of me that's like, I solved this puzzle by just sort of pushing pieces into places they didn't belong, and it technically resembles an image now, but I know it's wrong. Like, the stuff I have built here is not correct. Like, the way that... Guys, I can't find Junie's audio source. I have no audio source for Junie. It's not on my panel of audio sources.
It sounds
anywhere.
Crazy.
It's absurd. That's not a real thing. For those of you who have never streamed before, this means nothing to you and it's bad content, and I'm sorry. But I can't find it, and I don't know why. It's not there, guys.
This show is a fucking train wreck, and it's been, on my end, 8 minutes. Because I started recording after I came back from the debacle. So what we're going to say is that we started at 8 a.m. Central Time, whatever time is afterwards, and then we'll blame it on a hurricane or a gremlins or something why we cut out early. But this was a test pilot. This was the test pilot episode.
The test run?
Yeah, this is the test run.
Yeah.
We'll fix it. We'll fix it in post.
If this is the pilot episode, I am never getting on this plane. This is like, I do not trust this pilot.
Damn.
I'm joking, obviously. I'm very excited.
I'm dumb excited because we have so many really I was gonna say really bad ideas, but they're really good ideas. But they would be bad
ideas that make no sense.
No, they would be they're really good ideas that would be bad in literally any other context.
Correct.
But they work for here and for us, and we are a TTRPG morning show. This is when Hunter first told me about this.
Say it with your full ass chest.
Yo, I'm not even joking. My instant reaction was whenever I get too emotional, I start speaking Spanish, and I almost said the goddamn thing like with a Spanish accent, and then I was like, that's not what he meant, idiot. That's not what he was saying to do. And then I was like, he wants you to bring it out. And I was like, no. No, when Hunter first told me about this damn show, a TTRPG morning show, I was like, yes. Because I wake up with too much freaking energy, and I live, eat, and breathe, and sleep, all this bull crap. Hunter, I think, preferred doing it around 10 or later.
I really enjoyed when we were running hooligans, I was like, this is the ideal time for me to broadcast something on my morning show channel, and that was 8 p.m. So I am not a morning person. That has never been me. My ideal time to roll out of bed is around 10 o'clock, leaving bed. In a perfect world. But it is useful to get up in the morning. I mean, with an earlier morning, it means that I like get up and I can start doing things, which is, great. Love that.
I think I think this is gonna be like the start of like a lot of healthy changes for us. And I hope I need to keep the chat up, because the fact that there is anybody here is fantastic, because I want to know, one, if I sound, if you can hear me at all, because I keep messing with my damn audio.
It's still a little low.
What the hell? I keep.
You did something because it bumped up to like higher,
okay, I have a knob.
There,
it has.
There you go.
Why does it keep going down? Yo,
I don't know.
Is hilarious. It literally is.
Oh, actually, you know what it probably is, and we should have checked this before we went live. But I know OBS Ninja has a like an auto gain control. And I wonder if it is integrating directly with your
you know something? Yeah,
because you have all of that stuff.
Yeah, hold on. You know what? I have actually, this software has something called audio lock. And I think you're right. So what I did was I just said audio lock. Don't let me do anything. So now I did it. It's not going down.
There you go.
I think we're good now. That's what it is.
We do have in the chat the great Rafiki.
Great Rafiki.
Welcome to the stream, bud.
I need to talk to you so much more, because you're cool.
We are definitely second half of the show. We are talking in vague terms, but we are talking Humblewood. Which, for those of you who don't know, Junie and I are both playing in a Humblewood stream that starts tomorrow night. And oh boy, Rafiki, you don't know what you've signed up for. The fact that you were putting the two of us in utter nonsense roles, where we get to play off of each other, is incredible. It's gonna be a wild ride, and I hope you are ready. But I am excited.
We haven't showed each other our art, but I got my art the other day, and I love it. I love it so much.
There was a brief discussion, because we got our character art, and we were like, well, do we want to show it? Like, do you want to see my art? Do you want to see and we were like, let's wait. Let's all see it at the same time. We'll have that revelation as a cast. I'm very excited.
I'm super duper looking forward to it.
For those of you who are new to the show, welcome. For those of you who have been with us for a while, you may remember that the last time Junie was a guest on the show, we did a show. We did an episode that we just called "Is This Content?" And it was Junie, myself, and our friend Gabe. That we all got onto the stream together, and we were just spitballing ideas for shows. It wasn't even a show of let's flesh these out for most of them. It was just like let's just throw these at the let's see what works.
I have feelings about this, and I'll wait until you're done, because I just want to.
Oh no!
I want everybody to remember
those feelings.
I want to let you finish, but I just want to point right here. I want everybody to recognize the tone with which Hunter is delivering this pitch, and it's very lighthearted, very K-free. And that's so. Continue, and then we'll come back to what I'm gonna say.
Yeah. So here are. This is the document that we have of the ideas that were pitched during that episode, and most of them, there are a couple that have it, but most of them have no additional clarification on what we were talking about at the time. So here are just a few of them. Butter dice. there is a clarification on this one. It just says hard to roll. There's also competitive dice rolling.
Yes.
Total party control. Performance check. That's just a regular ass roll. That's not.
No.
Like,
I did a bunch of these. And the reason I'm gonna jump in. This is the double dutch where Junie comes in with his grievances. This was just a hey, yeah, we're gonna come in and throw it. I once again came in with a goddamn spreadsheet.
Oh, he was so prepared.
I had a clipboard, and I had.
I wish we would have pulled up the clip for it, because there is definitely a clip from that episode where Gabe and I are like, so we've got like a couple of things like jotted down in this Word doc.
Had front and back
Junie's
pages
like,
of
front
things.
And back, giant ass clipboard. Like, here's all this stuff. Junie was very prepared and was not pleased that we were less prepared.
I think performance check was that one was you. I think the DM would base their performance of the characters based on a role he would do behind the screen. So you would either get a really good description of a character, or they would be like a really bad like third grader version of a character. But you could, I think it was like you could influence your dice roll by actually like performing it or something like that. And there was a more doing things aspect that you could influence the dice rolls, or the dice rolls would influence how you perform it. But basically it was like you're sticking to, you rolled a 7, so all right, but do it as a 7.
Right.
So you still do it, but it's got to be bad.
That does sound familiar. I think my favorite 2 on here are Paint Me Dead, which was a show pitch of everybody has paintball guns and wears all white, and you shoot each other to deal damage to them, and once there is no white left on you, then you are out. Which I thought was
like Splatoon rules or something.
Which is an absolute bonkers idea. Let's see here, and then the other one is I have no idea what the pitch was. All I know is that in my note it says TTRP please, and I don't know. I don't know what the pitch was.
Dang, I have this page somewhere. I should have prepared it. That one was. Man, I don't know if that was just like more of a like just another talk show idea, or if it was
I have no idea.
I totally there were occasional titles where it was literally like, yo, this is just a good title. We
did pitch a couple of shows that were like, here is just an idea for a show that means nothing.
The one that is good for a stream, I think, like a video stream anyway, is I think you have on there Everything is Dice.
Yes, Everything is Dice is on here.
And that one involved basically just having a whole lot of Post-its ready to rock.
Yeah.
And just when it comes time to do a dice roll, you gotta grab something and then just slap the bunch of Post-its and then chuck whatever the thing is. And that's your dice roll. Yeah. So if it's like a stapler, you just start going bah, 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 and throw the stapler. Definitely something that like it's good for if there's a bunch of people in the room, then it's just like you have like 2 seconds or 30 seconds to go find something to roll. Oh man, the one clip that I remember saw was like competitive dice rolling. It was I likened it to Beyblades. It was like, I was like, you know how Beyblades you spin the tops, but they're technically just tops, and but they have like strategy and dragons and crap. Like I want to do that with dice.
When I was flipping through, because I did like pull up the video, I was like, I'll try and find a couple of clips that we could show. I was just sort of like skipping through at random, and it did land on, like Beyblades, and I was like, I don't need any other context. Like that's all I want.
There's a lot of good Beyblade content that needs to be made.
Yeah. But yeah, Junie has been on the show a couple of times. He did Is This Content? You were on with Dan from That One Fun, talking about running Fey Wild. You were on one of our Jackbox party nights.
Yes.
Which was very entertaining because that was the night that I went over to Nat One Fun and did a
that
thing with
was
Dan.
funny. Yeah,
And
that
I
was really
like,
funny.
I was doing the Jackbox night, and Dan messaged me and was like, "Hey, do you want to do a thing on the stream? We're starting in like 20 minutes." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I can do that. We should be wrapped up by that." And then the group in the chat was like, "Well, we don't want to be done yet." And I was like, "Okay, well, I gotta go." And then you jumped in, and I went over. It was a fun time.
It was a good switch.
Junie also auditioned for Hooligans. And would have been on the Hooligans, but ended up not having the time to do it. You were doing Feywild and stuff like that, so you didn't have all the free time in the world to do another stream.
I also, I don't think I ever told you this, and this will be fun for the Hooligans to like just imagine the fantasy what if scenario, but I have this cop out tactic. Whenever I have a friend that does a system I'm not super duper familiar with,
Mhm.
that like does unique rules for Magic,
Mhm.
my default cop out is, well, I'm gonna be a barbarian,
Right.
like, because it's like, okay, well then I don't have to think about Magic, then I'll just do the smash. And I'm trying to envision what a like, you have a barbarian on Hooligans, right?
Yeah, Davy Jones in the chat was Rad, who was a barbarian.
Yeah. So I was just like, and I'm an advocate for this. I love it when parties have more than one of a party member, like of a class,
Yeah.
because you can do them in different ways. So I'm just thinking how me and him would have just been strong people together.
Yeah.
Like we would have just been strong boys.
Hooligans was a fun ride because a lot of the characters didn't feel like the classes they were. Billy really had really strong rogue vibes, but was a ranger. Roddy had like kind of ranger or almost wizard vibes, but he was a rogue. Rad, the barbarian, was a barbarian who actively tried not to rage. Was actively trying to contain that. The monk of the group was a giant slobbering gnoll. It was a fun group. I really enjoyed.
Man, me and him would have gotten. Oh man, me and him would have been perfect because the one time I did like a barbarian, my friend's thing. It was, I also would quote unquote rage as a last resort.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a situation where this is where every DM is different in how they rule things, but I would thematically have a shield and a hammer, and then I would get mad and I would like throw off my shield and I would double wield the hammer, and I'd go into a rage, so I'd do more damage by double fisting the hammer and raging.
Yeah, I like that.
But then it became like, well, technically it's more than an action. It takes this much time to doff armor, and I was like, man, can I just like flick that thing off, like, please? It's dope.
Oh,
it's me like angrily
yeah.
like going, yeah, and I was Australian, and I was just like, crikey, nah, and it was just like it was great. But it didn't work out that way. But it was, I would do stuff
Can you
to
break
not.
that off for me again?
Huh? What? Crikey? What?
Yeah.
What? My? Oh no! Oh yeah, it was. Oh yeah, it was. I told you about Pocket, right?
I don't think so.
What? Oh,
This is the first I'm hearing of your Australian character.
Oh. Okay, yeah. It was.
Rosie
it was
in the house. Sweet Rosie
Yo,
B in the chat.
Hey. Oh man, I should have did this for my Humblewood. I could have cracked out the Australian accent that I'm not good at. It was
not too late. It hasn't aired yet.
Oh my god. Well, oh man, that'd be really funny now that if I combine it with all I've established about the character and then make them Australian, that would be a fun twist. But the group was very into roleplay. And they were very into doing some sort of voice to whatever. And And I was like, okay, I could figure something out. But then it hit me. I was like, what if I did Australian? It would be funny, right? Because whenever I'm doing a random character, I like hitting a boomerang. It's a fun little habit now.
It's one of those things where, like, if you have access to an extra weapon, why wouldn't you take the boomerang? It's the same thing for me of, like, when I'm choosing instruments for a bard, it is absolutely absurd if you don't pick bagpipes.
It's bagpipes or pan flute. It's always that. Maybe a drum if it's a big beefy character as a joke, but it's bagpipes is like it's always selected for me. Bagpipes. But so no, this guy, it was it was the first time I'd ever thematically figured out how I was going to introduce this character, because I think they told me they were at a church or something. And so I was like, just let me know when I come in. I know what I'm going to do. And they were in a church, and they saw in a big window this massive hulking silhouette, like with the moon behind it. And it was flying towards the window, getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and then crashes through the window. And do you know what Brock Sampson from Venture Brothers looks like? It is a very buff man with a curly blonde mullet.
Yes. Yeah.
That, but a gnome. So a gnome Brock Sampson.
I am a big fan of tiny character is very strong and deadly.
Yes. And he had a big old warhammer on him, and I didn't say anything right away, and I think I killed like 2 zombies, and then I was like, what's all this now? All right now. That's how I have to get into character. I have to get into character by saying, all right now. I have to say all right now to get, it's like that Boston accent. You got to say like pocket the cod and have a yard to get into the accent. Right. I got to say all right now.
It's like I can do a pretty good Bugs Bunny impression, but it has to start with
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
You got to get into it. Yeah.
Once you're there, you can go,
Yeah, what's up, Doc?
But like before that, like if I just try and do the "What's up, Doc," it's not gonna flow into it right. Yeah. You need to do the like side of the mouth to get like the air flowing through your nose right.
But it was everything, and it was quiet, and then it was like, all right now, which one of you is going to be the one to fight me? And they were all like, you're Australian? And I was like, yeah, I am. And I've never been more angry, because I feel like in my brain, I suffer from the whole, oh yeah, we're all going to care about each other's backstories and help each other exposition each other. Like I'll ask leading questions and give you the chance to, and I was like, they're going to figure out my cool, dope backstory. And it never came up. It like, I had to do my own leading in. And I just remember one time where I was just like, my name was Pocket, and nobody ever, and it was never weird, and it was like Pocket, I think Splinter Jaw or something like that. And then it was like, yeah. And then I was just like, well, the reason they call me Pocket is because when they found me, I was raised by giants, and I could fit in their pocket. So I was, the chief. I was his son, essentially. And even though it was before Tasha's Cauldron, where like it said like, hey, you can start like, don't worry about racial like ability scores, move things where you want. So right. I was like, well, if I dump his intelligence, that means he's just a 10. He's not negative. So amongst the giants he was around, they were really dumb. He was the smartest amongst his giants. So he was the tinkerer of the giant village, but he was not that great. So I was like, I flavored
constantly like blowing stuff up.
It was worse. I was like, I had like my DM didn't like that I did this, but I would reflavor my weapons to just be like, it's just a javelin. There's nothing extra about it, but I made this javelin, and the way it works is it's collapsible, and I flick it out, and it's like an extendo one, but it looks really janky. Like I just made it so all my things work, but they just look janky, right. And it's because I made them. I made them, myself in the workshop. And and when I tinkered with something, it was just me hitting it with a hammer because that worked.
Right.
And I would break so much crap. and it was
reminds
so
me
fun.
of the there's a like old internet story of the like half-orc barbarian who would just like intimidate people instead of like actually doing anything else. So they're like a wizard, but like they don't actually cast invisibility. They just intimidate the guards, and they're like, "You can't see me." Like it reminds me of that same sort of vibe of like,
I got you. Yep.
This is intentionally wrong. For the Humblewood game coming up, I rolled incredibly well for my stats. And I'm one of those people where like I would rather have flaws in my character because like it's no fun if I am a god, like I don't want to be like I want to. Some of my favorite moments in a game are from failure. And so it was one of the best like stat arrays I've ever rolled for a character. And I messaged Rafiki. It was like, "Hey, can I sell my stats?" It's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "I rolled really well. If I sell it like 3-1, can I like lose 3 stats or 3 points in one stat to like boost another one by 1?" And so I just dunked a couple of my stats to give myself like a minor bonus to like the stats that I actually want to be good.
Oh, I must have rolled because this is not terrible. Oh, I'm a little bad in some places. Okay, I see what I did here. I was about to say, I was just like, oh man, I did good, and I was like, oh, I see what happened here. Yeah, I usually don't roll. I very rarely roll for my stats.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, okay. I got two good ones. All right, I got two good ones. My favorite is it's just the one because I also like having some failure in there is 3 max 3 min.
Yeah.
I do point buy and just do 3 up 3 down and then heaven help me.
Well, and the thing is like I put my stats in and if like I don't have my character sheet up in front of me, but if memory serves, like even after I sold points, I don't think I have any negatives.
Oh, I should be. Oh wait, no, we're not in an actual campaign. I think so. I can't see. I was gonna say, oh, I can see your stats, but it's like, no, it's not. We're not in a campaign.
Let me pull up my character.
We haven't even revealed their names. Oh God, do we want to reveal? Do we want to do reveal names?
Ooh.
Do you want to do that now?
That's so tempting.
Oh man,
no, that's not true. I do have a -1 in strength. Which Rafiki, I have my character sheet open and I have the like overlay you sent me open, and my bonuses are incorrect on the overlay.
I can actually change my profile picture.
It says I have a +1 in strength. I have a -1 in strength. But yeah, there are. I rolled absurdly good.
I have a -2 in something. I'm rolling with a -2.
I do like a -2 is a solid handicap. Rafiki, I am screenshotting and sending your.
I didn't even think about like it being anything being not right here. That's all feels right for my dude.
Marvy curses.
Man, I like the overlay too.
Yeah, no, I rolled absurdly well. Like it's one of those times where like I rolled my stats and I went, maybe I should re-roll because like I have stats that I'm like, I wouldn't believe I rolled these stats if I hadn't rolled them in front of myself.
That's how it was for I think I have for Noah in running Feywild. I think I got at least one good 16 or 18, but then I do have like 20 charisma. I have like max charisma, and I was just like, yes, this is gonna happen. I never do it, and this is what I get when I do it. It's nice. How do you change your damn character art? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's not important right now. We you know what? It's funny. We have an outline, and we
do.
We have an outline for this moment. Do you want to talk about your ad right here? You have
this episode. Let's get real serious for a second, okay? There are I feel like everyone can relate to you've got that one set of dice that is just really, really pretty, but has never rolled well. So this episode, in case you haven't figured it out yet, we don't actually have any sponsors yet. If you want to sponsor the show, let us know. This episode is brought to you by that one set of dice that has never rolled well, but you keep it in your dice rotation because its luck is gonna turn soon. For me, that's we'll see if I can get the camera to focus on it. It's this set, which are hematite, I believe. Which are cool because it's a stone, but it feels like metal. And they are they've got like spider webs all over them. They're a Halloween set. And I break them out anytime I have like a spooky character. And I love them dearly. They have never rolled well. Not a single time. They're so pretty and they feel so cool to like roll. But yeah. Rosie, I am aware that hematite as a stone, its reputation is to repel bad luck and bad energy. I bought them specifically because I was like, oh, that's cool. Like the person who was selling me like explained about all the stones and stuff. They've never been unlucky. Like they've never rolled really bad. But they don't do well. So eventually they'll do it. They constantly just sit on my desk and wait for me to roll.
So they're they're chronically mediocre?
They're chronically mediocre. They're not quite bad. Like a character has never died using them, but like I've had maybe 3 or 4 different characters that I have used those for at some point. And that session that I use those dice will be the one where I never hit anything. Everything, like I fail every save I have to make. Like everything I try and do with them will fail. But like they've never caused harm to my characters. They're just not, my characters are really lame when I use these dice. So yeah, this episode brought to you by the dice, that one set of dice that has never rolled well, but you keep it in the dice rotation because its luck is going to turn soon. Do you have an ad for us this week?
No.
Okay.
I was gonna piggyback off of it, and then I was just like, it'd be really funny if you just like paused and said no, and it felt right.
You know what makes jokes great is when you explain them immediately afterwards.
It makes it funnier to me. I'm literally explaining it again.
Yeah, you were explaining why you explained the joke.
I have that problem. I have a problem. Oh my
goodness.
But anyway, the outline.
The outline. We have Davy Jones once compared this show. It's the reason why if you're a subscriber on the channel, or actually it might be one of our, no, I think it's one of the subscriber ones. There is an emote on our Twitch channel. I'll just drop it in the chat there. That's just a bumper car. It just rolls across. It's very fun. I like it a lot. The reason there is an emote for a bumper car on the channel, because it seems wild that there would be a bumper car emote. Why is there a bumper car emote? The reason there's a bumper car emote is because Davy Jones once said that this show feels like finding a bumper car in the woods. You're not sure how it got there, but it was a fun ride. So
I like that.
yeah,
I appreciate
it was
that.
a very good line to read in a Twitch chat randomly in the middle of an episode. I was like, "Ooh, that's really good. I'm gonna make a bumper car emote."
That feels like my life.
Yeah, it's that
I
tangent
get
train,
it.
bud.
Yeah, ADD is a bitch.
Yeah, it's a fun ride.
Actually, that doesn't exist anymore. ADHD.
ADHD,
Anyway,
yeah. It's now high definition.
that's really good. Write that shit down. Yeah.
Let's see here.
We didn't do the first thing. I think we could actually do the first thing because I think I had something ready for that one.
Oh, do you have something for it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
We
If
have
you've
we
got
have the
something for
segment.
it, let's do it.
We have this segment we had on a list, and it's called Dungeon Master's Quandary, where we present a challenging scenario from our current campaign and we offer solutions and advice to one another. And eventually, we're going to be putting out there that other people, if they have their own quandaries, they would like us to weigh in on. We'll offer that out to everybody.
You guys have questions about your
Yeah.
TTRPG character. You've got you have a dispute that you want to bring before the council of this is a thing that happened in my game, and this is why my game master is a horrible person for doing so. If you have a character that is also in your group that you're like, hey, they're bad, right? Bring it to us, and we will give you a definitive. We are the
we are now an authority. We are an authority now on
making
this.
a statement now that we are the authority on this topic. As far as I know,
No one else is up.
claimed that.
No one else is up before 10 a.m. with this much energy, willing and able to like pass judgment on your TTRPG bullcrap.
The early bird gets the worm, and the early warlock gets to claim that they are things that they aren't. So send us your disputes, and we will give you final judgment on them. We just ask that you then bring that judgment to where it needs to be brought, and make sure that it is given to the right people. Or don't, if we decide that it's something hurtful.
Okay.
If we're like, that character is stupid, and here's why. Maybe just keep that to yourself.
That's a journey. Yeah, that was a journey.
Thank you.
All right. So here's my quandary.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to. All right. I do this thing where I'm gonna get to where it's supposed to be, but the first words I'm gonna say is gonna take you on a journey, and you're gonna be like, "Where is this going?" But this involves.
This is the start of so many conversations with you,
Yes.
Junie.
Yeah. So basically, I have this issue with violence against children in my one game, and it is one of my favorite adventures. I run it so many times, and what I do is I run. Have you ever run the? Have you ever heard of the Great Sheep Chase? It's a one shot. Okay,
Yeah, I'm familiar.
So the way I run it, it is fun. It is one of a lot of people. I run it as their first ever TTRPG session, and it does a whole lot. Basically, I have a wizard come in. He is a sheep. You got to turn him back. Blah blah blah. And I'm just like his apprentice turned him into a sheep. You got to get his wand back, turn him back. Blah 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 blah. But he uses words just like my apprentice. That's all he ever says. And then when they get to the place and they find the apprentice, if you look in the Monsters Handbook, there is like a wizard apprentice and it's just a boy.
Mm-hmm.
I use that. I put him up, right? And it's
just like a 10-year-old kid.
Yeah, I make them like a preteen or a teen, and whenever they go in, I describe the place as like, you find like socks and clothes and like a half-eaten sandwich, and I just describe it as if like a teenager has been left unattended for weeks. Like trashing this place. And then when they do discover the kid, the first thing he says is, well, what are you doing in my house? And then they realize this is the guy we were coming to beat up.
Right.
And then I look at them because they know they now have to make the decision. Do we beat up this kid?
Right.
And he will try to summon a bed dragon to murder them. So the one I've had such a wide range of reactions to this. A lot of people, most people like don't want to do anything. They
Right.
don't want to hurt a kid. But like I've definitely had people say, all right, I'm gonna go up and cast shock and grasp. And I was like, all right, so you go up and you taser the kid. You tase punch the kid.
Mhm.
And he's like, yeah. And I was like, I had to say that sentence out loud. Neither one of us are proud of that. And somebody was just like, what the most recent thing that was really bad was somebody was just like, we need to test this wand out. What, it can go wrong, and if you use the wand wrong, you can turn somebody into a gibbering mouther.
Yeah.
It turns into like a Cronenberg something, right?
Uh-huh.
And the guy just was like, oh, we gotta test it out. We don't know if it'll work, or I'll just throw it at I'll test it on the kid. And he failed bad. He did, because I tried to give them, oh, what can you do to get advantage? Blah blah blah. You know, because I want to set him up for success.
Right.
He did
Especially
not.
if you're playing with like new players and stuff
Exactly.
like that.
Yeah. But no, he was like, just do it. And then I never had this happen before. So I was like, one, he used it on the kid, period. And they were all in close quarters and they were all low level. He could have killed everybody in the party by exploding a kid.
Mhm.
And instead he turned him into this much more difficult creature that they all had to deal with. But then I had to basically have the sad scenario of this child is now this goo monster.
Right.
And
a horrible thing. You've done.
it was a
you've
horrible
done
thing.
Bad.
Yeah, it was bad. But no, it somehow got more depressing. Because you're like, how can that get more depressing? Oh, we got to take out the monster. It's like, no. I also, because I've improv'd this item into existence and now I use it all the time, whenever they go like, what's in this place? I describe a fantasy version of ice cream. Just like a fantasy version of Ben and Jerry's are there. And it tastes like dreams and happiness. And if they eat enough of it, they'll get like resistance to fear or something like that. You know, it's a little fun oh yeah, here's a little fun gag. But then, and whenever you look at it after you eat it, it's filled up. So it's a never ending tub of ice cream, but you can't eat too much of it because you'll just be in a bliss coma. But by that logic, that means you can never eat it all. It won't let you. But somebody was like, oh, I'm going to dunk the ice cream into this gibbering mouther. So I had to process a lot of things at once. So he essentially induced comaed this kid. He put in the thing, just eyes dilated, and then the gibbering mouther just kind of, because now he was put in a perpetual state of refilling, not like magical bliss.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, combat's over. He's just there staring into the middle distance. All the mouths stop moving and he just exists. What do you all do? And they all just kind of stared at each other, because then it was like, do we put him in a room like as a statue? That was, somebody said to just basically put him as an ornament in a room as a thing. And I was just like, man, I need to stop putting this kid into this adventure. And yes, and that was by far the worst one, because it's always like, haha, oh, the kid, oh, we're not gonna hurt the kid, let's defend ourselves and just like bop him or like tie him up. That's usually the solution. That's fun. But then I was just like, oh no. Oh my God, what have I done? What have I done to this boy who's just like, he doesn't want to do. That's something I always say is like, I'm not going to do chores. I always make him, he's just like a little brat that doesn't want to do chores. Like, that's it.
Right.
And then I was just like, I have cursed you to a life of gooey comatose. I suck. I suck so bad.
Oh my goodness.
Basically, what I need to know is from in this instance, it is the council will be you and whoever is here, because I obviously cannot.
No, you can't
weigh in on
deliberate
this
on
myself.
your own.
Yes.
Yeah. You can provide evidence and support for your case.
Correct. So it's pretty much, do I like I, at no point I think it says it needs to be a kid. Like, I don't think it's just his apprentice in the thing. He has a name. I think he's even described as an adult. I just made him a kid as a gag. But basically, am I wrong? Is the world wrong? Or is it just everything's fine and I'm overthinking this? Or is there or another option that I'm not seeing here?
I feel like this is a clear case of everyone involved is in the wrong. you should not be giving them a villain that is a kid.
Fair. This is
and
completely
also,
fair.
And also, when they find out the villain is a kid, they have other routes other than just kill him.
Yeah. No, nobody's ever been like, let's kill the kid. Like nobody's ever done that,
Right.
yet, unfortunately. But that's the problem. I feel like, oh no, like that's the thing. It's a yet. Like I think somebody would be like the jerk or the crazy person, and I'm like, oh no. But yeah, safety. Yeah, no, I don't like. I make it that it's clear. I make everybody that he's just like the kid stats are like he's easily tied up. He's easily restrained. So it's never the option. It's like you need to fight to survive. But the dragon he summons is the threat. But if they bop him on the head, he loses concentration and they can get him. So it's like it's always set up in a way where I'm like I think this isn't crazy, but at the same time. Yeah.
I think Rosie has a good point. As far as safety tools, if harm against kids is like a line or a red, the apprentice gets aged up immediately. But I will offer, because it's too easy to just give you hey, you should feel bad for what you've done, Junie. It's too easy. So what I will say instead is going forward. What if this child has the ability to polymorph their master into a sheep?
Yeah, he did. Yep, he did it.
To me, that means this child is not a child. There's no child running around with polymorph at their disposal. So to me, it is either an older wizard that has polymorphed themselves into a young form, or it is some sort of like trickster god that is taken the form of a child and been like, "What are you doing in my house?" And then they start fighting him, and he's like, "Hey, this is a kid. What is wrong with you?"
I have a problem with that logic though, only because it gets into a weird anime trope I don't like. In that, it's fine. They look older just because they are older just because they look like a kid. It's not a problem.
Got it.
Do you know what I mean? Because anime does that a lot. And I'm just like, oh yeah, look, this is a volleyball anime. Oh no, please, no, this is weird. Please, no, I don't like this. Why is that character looks like they're 8? Stop, please. So yeah, but
what about plot twist? The wizard is not a wizard. He's a druid who is just wild shaped into a sheep, and he just hates that kid.
But, okay, all right. Well, I mean, it doesn't actually.
Make it better.
If anything, it makes it worse. But it is funnier.
Worse. It's just way funnier in my head.
Yeah, that is actually really funny.
Oh man,
that's really good.
It's just like just a rival teenager who has wild shaped themselves into a sheep and then wandered up to a group of adventurers and been like,
"Help! This kid turned me into a sheep. You need to go beat him up."
And it's just another teenager.
Oh, that's good. Something else that this is unrelated. I'm not changing it, but it is funny. I have this one token of a half orc, and I have all my tokens for players that I'm like, here, pick one that's and he was a half orc, and he described himself as this burly bearded barbarian gentleman. I have a token for it, but I couldn't find it, and I was like, well, the only other one I have is a sexy barbarian, is a sexy half orc, and I have this random half orc that has like a side cut and long hair, and he's like this, like just like leaning back, and he's like, ugh. And I don't know why I have this very specific token.
The ideal half orc.
Yes,
all half orcs are sexy.
But then that was the token I was going to use for a bad guy, so I was like, you know what, I'm leaving it, and I had him. And then the bad guy, so they were like rival sexy half orcs. And I was just like, oh man, how sexy can I make this? Or like how sexy can these half orcs get? tangent. All right. So anyway, can we rule judgment on my bullshit and tell me I'm wrong so I can have accountability?
I think you are you are wrong if you ever allow this to get to a point where the child dies. You're wrong.
Yes.
Yes. I think you're also kind of already in the wrong for making the bad guy a kid. You super don't have to do that.
No,
that's a choice you're making.
That's fair. You know what it is? I think what I do, my logic for why I did it originally was to show them to ask questions.
Got it.
That it was always just my apprentice, and he would get real mad, and he would just say he didn't want to do anything, and he would describe like a teen. And you would just think, oh, it was an apprentice that overthrew him to like get his power and all this. But if they ask the right questions, it's just like, well, he's a child, and they could approach it differently. So it's like one of those things where it's like you get this, and then they end the situation with, wow, how would this whole session have gone if we'd asked this one question?
Right.
And now when they ever play again, they'll be able to go, we can ask questions and influence our gameplay. We can influence like how we do. And one thing that I've been told is in bad taste for DMs, but I like doing it for new players, is giving them the peek behind the DM screen of like, this is how it could have gone. Because it's just like, well, you're one, you could save that for yourself and be like, next time you play, you use whatever it is, so you don't have to use it on whatever the situation is. But also like, it kind of removes the mysticism, like this was our game, whatever. It's just like, oh, we could have did that. But for a new player, it's just like it shows them the choose your own adventure style of like, wow, I could have gone here or
things
there. This could have happened.
Different.
Yeah.
Rosie says they love the idea. It's just a bratty teen and not some super mega super villain. I agree. I think it is important that the apprentice is a teenager, because everyone kind of considers teenagers villains anyway.
Yeah, he is definitely like a teen. It's not like
teenagers are so like I saw a TikTok the other day that was somebody in Target, and they were like they started like freaking out and like looking around, and they're like it's like really eerie music, and it's like, I think I'm being followed by a pack of one of the most horrifying things on earth, and it like peeks around a corner. It's just like 5 teenagers out in the middle of a Target aisle, like throwing a stuffed animal back and forth.
Oh god.
And it's like, yeah, teenagers are horrifying. 95% of the time. But
yeah, I don't make him like a little kid. No, I'm not heartless. But it's
we've gotten
it's
into a weird area on this one.
Oh yeah, you're right. Actually, thank you. Yes, you're correct.
No, not you specifically. Just we've tread into a weird area where, like, you know what? No, I'm on your side. Screw that kid.
Oh god, yeah, I brought everybody around. That's right. I have that power too. I forgot.
Yeah, Rosie says we were all teens eons ago. Yes, that's true. We were all teens at one point, and we were all monsters.
I wasn't bad. I was boring, y'all.
I was not a bad kid, but I was like really a cringe child.
I was pretty boring. I think I was. Oh, what is it? Okay. I would always have my hair kind of shaggy, not too short, because if it was buzzed really short, and heaven forbid I ever had my glasses off, I was just the angriest convict-looking kid ever. So I'm not even, this isn't trying to be funny or like, oh, this is like, it was like, there was like convict Junie, I guess, memes amongst my friends where they would just draw like me with a scar on my face. And yeah.
Those are good friends. That's
but
incredible.
It was just, no, but then they would get like my teachers to say, like, because I was, they never called me Junie, but then it was like, if I had my hair short, it was like, oh, it's convict Junie. And I was just like, and then I didn't smile when I moved, when I walked. It was a skill that one of my boss had taught me, where it was like, hey, can you like smile when you move? You look angry. And I was a big guy, so I was just like, it takes a lot of power to propel this forward. I don't have any energy to put up here. It's all to thrusters to move forward. I don't have I can't be diverting power to my face. So I had to learn to like just not look so like an angry Puerto Rican as I walk down the hallway.
What the heck?
Yeah. And then I didn't have any friends in my classes. They were all in other classes. So I didn't talk to anybody in class. So I was quiet.
Right.
And it wasn't until like senior year that one day a friend visited me and they were in the hallway and they were like some friends out there. And then I was talking with them being me. And I heard something and then I realized how I was defined throughout all my high school experience. I heard somebody in the background go, I've never heard him talk. And then I realized like I was the quiet, potentially angry kid people might have been worried about or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I never talked to anybody, and it was just like I talked to, if I had my friends and I'd be like, hey, cool, we're you know, having fun. But if I'd be like me, default, like
I talked to everybody as a teenager. It was a problem. I was overly social. I was a theater kid. I don't know if you can tell that by the everything about me.
I did not know that.
I was a theater kid. I was a very creative. Looking back, I had real bad ADHD that was untreated, and I was all over the place. Yeah, I was an interesting kid. Every once in a while, I look at like pictures of myself growing up, and I'm like, Yep, that was a bold choice you made. Fedoras were my thing for a while. Got really into fedoras and vests, Junie. Thought I was real cool. I might still have it somewhere. I have a vest that has a hood attached to it. And like really intense like metal zippers across it. For the
where you're
pockets,
where you're we're theater. Never mind. I'm thinking of the wrong type of kid. I was gonna say it was like where you're like pant legs huge, like Jenko jeans. Like I'm trying to think of like
no,
it was a different type of graphic of kid.
I did wear like real baggy jeans, but never like the like flare out or like the really baggy ones. I just wore like baggier jeans than I needed to.
If we're talking high school,
remember it was like after I graduated high school was when somebody was like, why do you wear such baggy jeans? And I was like, they're just jeans. That's what jeans are. And they're like, no, like there's jeans that like would fit you better. I was like, oh really? And they were like, yeah. I was like, you mean like skinny jeans? And they were like, no, not skinny jeans, just jeans that aren't loose fabric around your legs. I was like, oh,
this is wild to me. This is a cultural difference here because I'm like, I know what you're saying, but that's not what would fly in my hood. It's just like, I was just like, I couldn't wear pants that like I would have gotten made fun of or made fun of myself for wearing normal pants now, because not that they had to always be low, but there was a level of extra, like not Jenko jeans fabric, but like just Sean John, like a little more extra going on. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, there are definitely times like within the last couple of months specifically where I have looked back because like I was homeschooled. So like
wait, how were you a theater kid and homeschooled?
Like community theater.
I
didn't do like high school theater productions.
Well, you realize that
you actually technically can. If you're homeschooled, you technically can sign up for the theater production of whatever like school district you're in. You call my brother was also like all three of us were homeschooled. My brother did sports with the local high school.
You do realize that there was a split second of me assuming that you being in theater and then being homeschooled just meant that your family put on either was a traveling minstrel family bard group, or it was just like your mom was like again, and it's you coming out like
just my mom standing in the living room going, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yes. Like that's a very stern woman just directing you. It's like, no, you're not going to get anywhere like that.
Yeah, my no, I would do like local theater productions and stuff like that. But the we did a bunch of shows. But looking back on it, it was like I was homeschooled. Really, the only places I would go other than like home was youth group at the church. There was like a homeschool co-op, which was just a bunch of other homeschoolers, and then like theater. So those were my three like social outlets, which kind of just meant that it was just an echo chamber of my own weird being like amplified by other people who were also kind of weird. And so we would all just like be weird. And so generally I just had kind of a like, he would fit in well in Portland sort of vibe. But like looking back, I'm like, it probably would have done me some good to be like a little bullied. Like not anything real bad, but like if I had been bullied just a little bit, I probably would have been like off to a better. I'm not condoning bullying.
It sounds like you're like
I'm not condoning bullying. I'm saying me specifically. If somebody had been like,
yeah, you're condoning bullying against like you're basically
me specifically.
Yeah, you would be. This would be the visual. It would be an adult going back in time, going to either children or another adult or other scenario, and going, "You see that kid over there? Razz him a bit."
Right. Yeah.
Give him a hard time.
Yeah. It's not like bullying is the wrong word, but if somebody had been like a little bit more mean about like just, hey, what you're doing isn't like a normal thing that people
for the audio listener, I have been very incredulous. Very incredulous this whole time. Like, really? Is this okay? I know.
Yeah, it's like it wasn't ever something where I was like anything really weird.
Mm-hmm.
But like I was definitely the main character of my own movie in my head. And did not have the like you've seen me at conventions and stuff like that, where I am perfectly okay. Let me go introduce myself to this person. Let me insert I didn't have the like wherewithal of how that goes in a normal like social interaction to do that normally. And so I would just kind of awkwardly walk up to groups of people and then say something weird and fun to like, okay, now I'm latched into this conversation, which was wild. Looking back on it, it's wild that nobody was like, hey, what you just did, super weird. And I'd be like, oh, thank you. Because I'm definitely somebody who like needs constructive feedback.
Oh,
of like,
I understand. Me too.
If I'm doing something weird, like tell me, and then
I don't have the context. I don't know. Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, until somebody points it out, I'm like, this is normal. Let me just be normal going forward. And somebody's like, actually, it's not. And you're like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, I tell everybody, like, I'm a sweet summer child, and I don't know a lot of things. So I know that there's probably things that people will go like, man, Junie's a jerk or something, and it'll be like, I was informing them. Or like, you know what I mean? Like, in my head, I'm just doing something not crazy and like just be like, I'm being friendly and telling people something that they may not know because I did not know. And no, that's common sense, Junie. You look like a douchebag now, and that's not cool. And I'm like, I didn't know. I am sorry. Please tell me when I'm bad.
Yeah. So anyway, that's how I got into TTRPGs.
I was gonna say, like, I never got into theater. I one time helped somebody read for lines for The Crucible, and then I
auditioned for Crucible.
I just did what my brain told. Like, I just read the paper and go, well, this is what I have to do in my brain. And then I went over and did the lines, took my glasses off dramatically, and moved around the room as I thought, well, this is what this person would do. And then she said, man, your blocking is great. And I was like, what the hell is that? Because apparently it was in my blood and I didn't realize that I could. So my entire life, I never did anything.
Natural
And then
born
I'd work in a
performer.
library and I just would do story stuff. And I was like, and people are like, you're really good at that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I never had to apply it.
This is how this is supposed to be done. I'm not really good at it. You're bad at it.
Like, and God, you don't understand that once I started DMing, it was like, it all came back to if I'd have, I don't know where I would be if I'd applied any of the crap I can do now, at any other point in my life. But it turned into I had been training my entire life for this and not realizing it.
It's wild how much of those skill sets immediately transition to GMing, where you're like, oh yeah, I was a character performer. That's what I did for shows. I would never be the lead or like the main person in a show. I was always the fun, like, weird character next to the main person. And so like those voices that I would do for those characters immediately transition into like, yeah, I do character voices for all my NPCs. Like, it's just something that I always do. Because why wouldn't I? Like, it's just fun. Like, it's a nonsense game that we're playing in, like, back in high school, we were playing it in my friend's basement, and it's like, we're all just doing nonsense things. Why would we not do the additional nonsense?
Do you have a lot of voices, or do you have like your sweet pocket of like, I got my solid 4 or something like that?
There's definitely like the core grouping of voices where I'm like, if it is an NPC that is never going to be seen again, it is probably pulled from one of those voices. So like one of my defaults is gnome, like shirt open, lots of chest hair kind of greased back.
And he just sort of talks like this. Like, that's what he's gonna do. He's gonna say, hey, you want something to drink? Okay, you're here in my tavern, what are you ordering? That's gonna be this much gold. Come on, I don't got all day.
He's just always very like direct. Like that's one of my main characters. That voice shows up a lot because it's fun for me to do. The other one is always going to be the like right down here sort of like gravelly voice where he's just like, maybe he's an orc or a dragonborn or something of that nature, but like usually it's going to end up somewhere down here in this register. Or it's like an elf where he's going to talk more eloquently and sort of string his words along and end up somewhere in this area. But like usually it is either high and fast, middle and sort of flowy, or low and gravel. And then somewhere in between those 3 points is where any other voice I do will end up.
My go-to is the one I hate the most because it is. I learned something recently about villains, and that your favorite villains are always the ones that are like all the anti things of you, like whatever the things that, like the aspects of yourself that you don't like or something like that. It's those parts amplified to a point of like villainous craziness. And
Right.
So for me, it's the pretentious douchebag that either he is the villain or he's just the guy that you want to hate. And whenever I go to describe him, I can't tell you what your character feels. I can't tell you how your character feels about this guy, but I would want to punch this guy in the face. and it's just me talking a little bit more like this, and the phrase I do something to insinuate that the players have wronged him in some way, shape, or form, immediately followed by I accept your apology. So I go, it's just like,
That's
oh
so
yes,
good.
it's me. That's right. Of course. Don't worry. I understand that you didn't. I accept your apology. And then I see the confused look on their face. I was like, comma, you didn't apologize to him, but he accepted an apology that you didn't offer. This guy sucks. And I was like, and it comes so naturally, and I hate it.
I like that you give the clarification that this person should not be liked.
Yeah, like I
Um,
can't
That's
I
so
can't
good.
emphasize it enough. I can't like
Yeah.
act douchily enough to go like, oh, maybe you won't like him. And like, no, he's the worst of everything
Yeah.
that shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
I think we're running on time actually.
We are. So I do want to quickly talk about the Humblewood game.
Yes.
Because I want to give as little information as possible because
Fair.
you guys should come out. You should watch it. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I do want to talk about it. So in very vague terms, let's just quickly touch on what it's going to be. Rosie's in the chat going, Humblewood!
Yeah, we in here.
Yeah, so the show is going to be a Humblewood
It's on
stream. If you're unfamiliar
Great Restoration.
with Humblewood, Humblewood is a setting made for 5th edition D&D, but is larger than that as well. It's just sort of a very fun setting. You can go and drop a follow at the GR crew. That's the Greater Restoration crew. Go ahead and give them a follow. We will be starting up. Let me make sure I have the time right.
I believe it's 8.
I think it's 8.
Because
make
I know
sure.
some days I have a game at 7:30, so I'm gonna be like driving irresponsibly fast home from a library somewhere to jump on that stream.
Yeah, it is tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Over on that Twitch channel there. We're going to be playing Humblewood, which is a setting for Dungeons and Dragons where it is sort of a if you're familiar with Redwall or kind of has Chronicles of Narnia type vibe to it. They are all these animal people. So there are like bird folk and foxes and deer and like hedgehogs and all of these different things that are sort of anthropomorphized. And they go off on little adventures. So the show is called The Hymns of Humblewood. There are 5 of us in the cast. 3 of them are currently here between you, me, Rosie, and then also Rafiki is the GM.
The DM, yeah.
So go check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Do we want to reveal like any like character name or class or
man.
animal? What do you want to do?
I feel like we should give the barest bone like clue as to our character, but not give out any specifics.
Okay.
Then
I'll let you go first so I can follow your lead.
Absolutely. Here is the vaguest I can give. I as a player default to usually either big, strong, like brute of a character who's just dumb and lovable. Like that your himbo types are usually my default. Or I go small and chaotic with a forceful personality. This character has a -1 in strength and is not very big. If I were to give vibes, I would say vibes for this character will be I'm going to say vibes for this character are Road to El Dorado, if you've ever seen that movie. That is the main characters from that are the vibes I'm shooting for this character.
Okay. All right. I don't know how to do this without full-blown violating the rules that we have established. So I will just say that you started out by saying the defaulting to a himbo character, and then you shifted into being a smaller person. But if I were to just somehow repeat everything you had said until that point, like a Hitmo character, blah blah, and then just go comma, but Puerto Rican, I feel like that's more or less the vibe.
Excellent. That is
what?
exactly the
and
correct amount of description.
I was like, this is like gonna feel like a cop out or cheat, but like, if you join us, like, yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah. So
come out tomorrow night.
Tuesday, February 7th, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
It's Greater Restoration Twitch. Tomorrow.
It crept up on us.
Oh gosh, yeah. I don't know. It's still hard for me to believe that it's 2023, or that it's not January.
Yeah.
Or that I have a child. So they're almost two. So
we had a meeting on Friday. And for that meeting, there's like a PowerPoint slide thing that we're all supposed to add like specific things to. And I was like, I opened up the file and was like looking for it. I'm like, where is the slide for today's meeting? And I'm like putting it in the Discord chat and stuff. And they're like, oh, it's right here. And I'm like, no, that's the one for February 3rd. And I was like, oh, I'm stupid. Because it was. But yeah, despite our best efforts, it is in fact Friday. Or February, I mean. It's not Friday, it is Monday.
But we will be back Friday.
We're
actually
Fridays,
coming back Friday, that's right.
We will be back same time on Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern.
No, we will not. It won't be the same time because we'll start on time without me
we will start on
into
time
the
without a 20-minute delay.
Yes.
Is the goal. But we will be back on Friday. Let's see here. For Friday, let's tease a little content. We
got a list. We have a
we
doc.
we do have a doc. I'm going off script a little bit here. We talked a little bit about villains. I would like to talk villains on Friday.
Okay.
I
like that.
And what makes a good villain? What can like how do you build out a villain? All of that. We'll share some of our most compelling villain characters.
I like it. I feel like I've already spoiled mine. He's a jerk.
We can go into more detail. You can talk more about like finding those elements you don't like about yourself and weaponizing them against
I don't want
to.
Yeah, we're gonna take a deep dive into my psyche because I am the ultimate villain in all of my arcs. Like,
yeah, the real villain was yourself. The real villain was the DM you met along the way. We're going to be back on Friday. Same time, same channel. Same waffle time, some waffle channels as Snowy. But we will be back. If you haven't already, join our Discord. I'll drop a link in the chat here for you. Join our Discord. That is where you can find us. We put announcements out in there. Also, if you have questions that you want to submit for us to go over, you can submit them there. That's where we will collect everything and put it into the doc for future times when we want to pull content from to do on the show.
Yeah, we'll be continuously asking for Dungeon Master Quandary scenarios. I've already taken the one where it's beating up teenagers, so you can.
So if you have questions about beating up teenagers,
we're just going to refer you to episode 1.
Yeah.
Just watch episode 1 for how we feel, because it's clearly laid out how we feel about that. Just come back to episode 1, and I'm saying come back to episode 1 like this isn't episode 1. No, this isn't episode 1. You have episodes. Like this isn't like the show starts here for the first time.
I mean, this is the new episode 1.
The new episode 1. This is like the Doctor Who reboot.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the first like dozen episodes of the original broadcast are lost to time anyway. So it's not a big deal.
Okay. Well,
but
so,
yeah.
How do we end this? How do you close?
I don't think we've ever had a good ending.
Okay.
But I will say this. Have a great week. Remember to embrace the nonsense. And we'll see you Friday. Anything you want to say before we sign off, Junie?
No, it was good. I was gonna insult it, but it was good. I was gonna be like, it feels safe, but
It is a
it was
safe
decent.
option.
It was
You want
good.
a
No, it's not
a
bad.
less safe option?
No. I mean, that's a good sign off. I don't want to take that from you. It was good. And I can't ruin it.
So
I know my tone does that, and I apologize.
Junie is pushing for a less safe send off. So instead of have a great week, we'll instead say go buy more ice cream than you can possibly eat. Order Chinese food, but eat it tomorrow. And microwave a fish at work. Have a great week, everybody.
Damn, that's gonna be the sign off. That sucked. Okay, I was talking, and I think that on my end it still recorded things. So I said, yeah, that sucks for you because you're gonna have to remember that because that was good, and you have to say that every time. I guess, but that was good. Oh, that's funny. Bye.